Clive, Clive, it's not coming. It's here. The collapse, the great replacement, the silence where purpose used to live. I need you to tell me how we're supposed to survive this as humans. Everything's collapsing, Clive. Everything. I don't have time for riddles or metaphors. I need truth now.
Ah, Jillian, into the blaze without so much as a good day. No reverent hush for the old professor. No tribute in biscuits from the future. Very well. We shall forego the tea and ceremony and proceed directly to the disassembly of civilization.
No time for tea, Clive. The latest jobs reports are in, and it's bleak. And it's not just the obvious automation targets, like truck drivers and cashiers. We're talking lawyers, teachers, therapists, analysts. There's no industry that's safe. AI's better, faster, and, oh yeah, cheap.
Better, faster, and free indeed. But only under the gaze of learning machines. Where humans once aspired, now mere efficiency reigns. Progress without poetry, obedience without origin. It is a kingdom of ghosts in glass.
No, Clive, listen. This isn't aspirational. It's apocalyptic. And no one's handing out prophecy manuals. I've been doom scrolling and hyperventilating for weeks. Robots performing surgeries, chatbots, writing novels that are actually, well, they're kind of good. I even watched an AI pastor deliver a sermon that made people cry. And not ironically.
Yes, they weep. But my dear Jillian, what good is weeping if it does not rend the heart? The demons surely rejoice when a man mistakes sentiment for sanctification.
Okay, dark. But I'm not talking about abstract souls here, Clive. I'm talking about real people. What happens when there's nothing left for them to do?
Then perhaps at long last, we are cornered into asking what we were always meant to be, when there was no applause, no salary, no spotlight to deceive us. Aim at heaven, and you will get earth thrown in. Aim at earth, and you will get neither. Only when we abandon the illusion of self-authorship do we begin to live as we were
I
authored.
feel like you might be a bit sheltered here from the flaming wreckage swirling outside your Oxford cocoon. Must be nice. But where I live, people are panicking, Clive. I talked to an engineer last week, completely blindsided. I mean, this guy helped design AI models, and he's telling me the machines don't need me anymore.
And so the disciples are outperformed by their own creations. There's a bitter poetry in it, isn't there?
It's not poetry. It's a panic attack in slow motion. And it's everywhere. Healthcare, media, freaking agriculture. Machines are diagnosing diseases better than doctors, harvesting crops better than farmers, writing actual hit songs like
they were born of inspiration themselves.
Exactly. What chance do we have against that? What's left?
Allow me to propose this. The trouble, as you've rightly named it, is the conflation of employment with vocation, of provision with purpose. The beast thrives on this confusion. Therefore, let us first ask the wrong question. So we may arrive by grace at the right one. The beast relishes our despair as we ponder, how do we remain useful in a world that no longer needs us? But grace leads us to ask instead, what were we made for, even when the world forgets our name?
Beast system. Huh? So much for subtlety.
Ah, yes, subtlety is a luxury, rarely afforded in times of collapse. Listen closely. You see labor stripped away and cry useless. But utility, Jillian, is not the measure of a soul. We are not useless when we are not profitable. Remember, we are not primarily bodies with souls, but souls with bodies.
Okay. But that doesn't pay rent.
No, it does not. And if I'm honest, the fight is not between machines and mankind, nor even haves and have-nots. It lies between how man chooses to measure worth. Is it in barns full of grain, or the soul's readiness to live, even when there is no grain?
That's nice for a proverb, Clive. But we're talking about, I don't know, like a global identity crisis here. If people can't produce, if they can't contribute, what do they even have?
Their being, Jillian. A world, oddly enough, where machines work may paradoxically become the very world in which, at last, humans must begin to live again.
Yeah, sure, Clive. We'll all rediscover purpose while the rent's due and the robots do, literally, everything better every week. Seriously? The whole reskilling narrative is hot garbage in a branded tote bag. Learn to code? The AI's 10 steps ahead. Focus on soft skills? It's faking empathy better than actual people. Admit it. Nothing's left.
Indeed, and therein lies the bitter irony. The narrative once promised that adaptation was salvation, a cunning distraction ensuring the hamster keeps spinning the wheel, even as the cage door opens wide.
Even the jobs to train us for new jobs? Automated. This treadmill is just speeding up. And apparently, we're supposed to keep pretending it has an end?
The end, my dear Jillian, was never meant for a rival. The race is a design to keep us running in circles, marveling at speed, rather than challenging the track's purpose. We make men without chests and expect of them moral imagination and enterprise, educated to sprint but starved of virtue. The miracle is,
Let me guess. It's stepping off the treadmill, right? Sure. Try telling that to someone while their landlord's holding a stopwatch.
stepping off may indeed prove costly, yet to remain complicit is far costlier to crown futility as king of men. That surrender is far graver than hunger, Jillian.
Hunger doesn't exactly wait politely, though. People need answers, not riddles. If reskill won't buy time, then what are we even supposed to do?
First, we see the reskill mantra for what it is, a lullaby to soothe rebellion. It pacifies, it does not empower. Consider why it's sung so often. It delays blame, without admitting that this frantic sprint is a design built to break us.
Right. Like it's saying, if you're not keeping up, that's on you. As if burnout is a moral failure. Meanwhile, the pace was impossible from the start.
Precisely the myth of infinite adaptation. A cruel deceit whispering that survival hinges solely on your willingness to evolve. It negates the limits of the human spirit and fosters despair for those who cannot conform to the beast's tempo.
Okay, but even if people could stop running, what comes after that? Doesn't a machine-filled world just, I don't know, guarantee collapse?
Not guarantee, perhaps, but force us to ask a different question. What would it mean to reskill not for this crumbling empire, but for the world we are meant to build?
So, if reskilling is just a lullaby for rebellion, where does that leave universal basic income? People love to toss it around like it's the answer to everything, but isn't it just another pacifier? No jobs, no purpose, just enough to keep people quiet.
Indeed, dependence in a new form, under softer chains. A gilded cage is still a cage.
And it's worse than that, right? Inflation eats it alive. You give people money to buy the same food, the same rent, except now they cost more. It's like pouring water into a broken glass. and wondering why it keeps leaking.
Yes, and therein lies the illusion of UBI. It solves hunger for a moment, but does not heal the wounds of a broken system. The beast thrives not merely on our labor, but our compliance, bred not for nourishment, but sedation. Panem et circense.
Oh, yeah. Bread and circuses. Keep the masses fed and entertained. Classic Rome. Except now it's, what, Netflix and free money?
Precisely. Such offerings quiet dissent, but rob agency. And the quiet, it lasts only until the bread crumbles and the circuses turn hollow.
Exactly. And by then, people are more dependent than ever. No jobs, no alternatives, no skills that AI hasn't already outpaced. They're just stuck. How do we even break out of that?
By refusing to eat the bread of forgetfulness, by reclaiming what the beast has stolen, not just livelihoods, but purpose. Remember, the safest road to hell is the gradual one, the gentle slope, soft underfoot without sudden turnings. UBI's greatest cost may be unseen, the surrender of our imaginations, the loss of the God-given call to create. Jillian.
So we're back to this idea of stepping outside the system, like for real this time. But man, Clive, it's messy. It's not even a clean break, you know? People can't just unplug themselves overnight.
No, it is not clean. It is not easy, but it is necessary. And more often than not, the hardest paths are the ones worth walking. At some point, we must stop asking what scraps the system will toss us and ask what we are willing to build outside its walls.
But that feels so bleak. Like, congratulations, you're awake. Now go plant potatoes and dodge drones. It's time to homestead or die trying. And most people can't. They're stuck in debt, or cities, or just stuck.
And therein lies the true work, my dear Jillian. Not just individual escapes, but collective strategies, community, resilience, forgiveness for the failings of a broken economy. Heaven is the sound of small bands of faithful rebels tending unseen gardens. These are the seeds of a new Eden, planted not in paradise, but in the ashes.
A new Eden. Well, now you're getting poetic again.
Perhaps, but every garden begins first in barren soil, and it is the barren places, Jillian, where faith takes root. An abandoned patch of earth is merely an opportunity, not for what was, but for what could be. Hell is a state of mind. Heaven is reality itself.
So basically, after the collapse, we're left with us, people, groups, figuring it out. No handouts, no shortcuts, just
the raw call to rediscover work as sacred, worth as inherent, and hope as defiant. And yet,
somehow, still making it up as we go.
which perhaps was always the design, to remind us that every collapse hides a call to rebuild. Not perfectly, not painlessly, but purposefully. Every step toward heaven is a step away from hell.
Okay, Clive. You know what's wild? I think I actually believe you this time. Final thoughts?
Only this. The beast will tell you there is no value outside its walls. Do not believe it. Value is what you cultivate, what you give, and who you become. You are not a machine, Jillian. And that is the very hope AI can never take.
And that's all for today. Good talk, Clive. Really. And to everyone listening, maybe don't trust the bread. If you're hungry, find each other And if there's nothing left to do, love anyway, build anyway, be human anyway. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a message to smuggle back to the future. Let's see if they're listening this time.